Okay, I think this is live now, so I'm going to begin. If you want to go check it out, you can go check out this entire presentation. Is available right now on the blog. It'll be available during the show, so if you want to follow along, go to the link that was sent out, Vedic Readings, io.blogspot.com // whatever you want to say, and then it's 9 waves of energy, 3 timeline. That's the. Let me just make sure it's all good. Yeah, looks like it's good. Alright, so the 3 has to do with mail-in voting, rigged, stolen, and you may remember there was a Simpsons episode with Lisa Simpson and continued to show all about Obamagate, Pizzagate, Spygate, and of course let's follow the White Rabbit. And timeline number 3 is the United States uprising and civil war, global trickle effect. And you can do a hashtag there, Patriots Unite, and also Patriots Awakened. So a couple of other things. This particular 3 timeline began during the 3rd wave of energy, which was November 15th, 2019. So that's it takes a while to put all the pieces together and put them out. So timeline 1, as you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. Mailing, voting, rigged, stolen system, right? There is a video, if you want to go and check it out, you can. It's a quick snippet of it. So we'll move on here. Again, I know that was actually a helicopter that got defunded on February 4th, 2004. And of course, Rob Book came into existence at 4 p.m. that day. Of course, you have Stickman Gay, Fast and Furious with Holder, and of course you have Benghazi. That happened because Stevens had stumbled onto a lot of new information about a lot of different things. And of course the 33,000 emails, Bleach Bit, and the bait, the orange jumpsuit, and of course you have this guy, Steele dossier, completely rigged all through Ukraine, Abramovich, and of course you have the Mueller whole debacle hoax. Donald Trump coming out talking against it, saying what's this all about, wasting all the taxpayers' money on a complete another hoax. Impeachment hoax, then they went to, and that fell apart the very next day, or even on the same, right down the road from where Chaz and Chop would eventually be set up, right next to the Gates Foundation. Any bells being ringing with people? Right, of course then you have Spygate as well, where they were rigging on a political opponent in 2016, and this is everything they're doing right now, trying to make people not be aware of all this stuff. And of course, as I talked about, General Flynn did become exonerated. This is a press conference. Again, you can follow along on the blog post. Jack making an executive order. Again, I just want to state that this dream vision was given nearly, May 8th, known that they would rig the US 2020 election. They would make it impossible for people to go to the ballot boxes. And at the time it looked like, right, California, that they're going to have contact tracers around their psyop. Deborah bricks were whole phases 1 to 3, complete another joke. This guy Charles Lieber, he's a key to everything on timeline 1, and he's connected to Wuhan, Fort Detrick, Canadian Bio Lab. It's connected to it all. Because you have this muppet here, right? Now what people don't realise, laughing at the people behind the scenes, like, look, it's a pandemic. Pandemic. Yeah, all that data is completely another skewed. For the 2020 election is this fool Neil Ferguson, and who's he? Well, he's funded by Gates. Go check him out. Pure model to project out. Funny, isn't it? The entire world is locked down. People are. Anyway, China's buying on November 15th, 2019. At the time, you had the whole impeachment. They're completely stupid, thinking that they can do what they want. I don't think so. So the third wave came along and said, good luck with your bioweapon. Good luck with your pandemic. And of course, the cases are going up in the democratic states, all being forged and full. They were going to release 2 bioweapons at one time, one on a train and one in a market. All fell apart. The bioweapon did get released, but it didn't take off the way they expected it. And if you want to understand the trial run they did, go back and look at the whole vaping thing that happened in 2019. That was a trial run. The same person that was connected to Wuhan and Canadian Biolab was also here in July of 2019. Not rocket science. The Canadian Biolab all connected, and of course they do a little tour in their little lab, right? And the US stock market, one of the big things they said the only way to defeat Trumpy or to defeat Donald Trump in the 2020 election is to demolish the US economy. So these people, they do not care. This is timeline 1. They will do whatever they have to do, plump jack. And of course COVID-19 then affected all the consumer prices. People didn't know what the hell was going on. Timeline 1, basically giving it away. And of course you'll have this Toxio in a couple of years here. Keep an eye on this thing here, but you never know. The 9 waves are probably gonna do stuff with this fool as well. And of course you have the Netflix pandemic just to get the sheep ready to be prepared for the pandemic, you know, in October 2019. That funny falls along it to a T, right? All connected with the economic forum. Of course you have the foundation there, ID 2020. People should look into that, deeply look into it. Because you have the patent US 7220852B1 as well. And then you have the John Hopkins University map that just was able to, like, magically overnight have a perfect website, all graphics and everything, absolutely perfect. And the same map they used across all their propaganda media. Yeah. Then they launched a new one, all connected to the contact. This is a Middle East kind of military operation they launched to stop Donald J. Trump to get re-elected in 2020, April 1st. And it's running, but let's see how far it gets. Social media, communist socialism, censorship. So there we go. How China uses censorship to keep people masked, take down posts, check the posts, don't even let them post the post. Sound familiar? Timeline 2, President Donald J. Trump's second term. Save the Children, October 28th of October, when a lot of the things were about to be released to the world, but had to be put on. The brakes had to be put on until everything was put back into place for a little bit. And of course, Comet Ping Pong, WikiLeaks drops Bethesda HRC ritual operated through copter fusion. Keep an eye on that. And then on timeline 2, prophecy back in 2011. Checking Storm. This was all connected to everything that was about to be given to the public before the Las Vegas shooting. The Las Vegas shooting changed a lot of timelines here. A lot of things had to adjust because of that. Because the first US presidential debate that the world watched, 21 Jump Street with the orange jumpsuit. Timeline 2 now. So the world is now fighting for it. Also interconnected. What happened with Seth Rich killed Julian Assange. Said that it couldn't have been an outside hack. It had to be somebody on the premises. Without a doubt, it had to be an on-site individual into a USB. The files transferred. And of course, you had the whole weird and getting rid of Farcehead, the Comey, Muppet, Spygate and Obamagate. Big map there, right? And how it all rolls together. These are all very important things for people to know about, especially for timeline 2, because this is what the people are fighting against. Because if you want to know what this is all about, go check out the video I did for July 4th, all connected to the 45 goals set out on January 10th, 1963. Very important video to check out, especially on the birthday of America. the 244th birthday on July 4th, 2020. Go check it out. And of course, Joan Rivers talks about that Michelle Obama is a trans Satoro in Netflix. And what do they call it? Becoming what? Anyway, of course, this complete and utter demented lunatic doesn't have a clue about anything. And this other bleeding. Anybody wants to see how far they'll go to make sure that that guy Sanders wouldn't win. Look what they did in Iowa. Complete and utter disaster. Right? This is what they have no problem doing for the 2020 election either. Super Tuesday, complete and utter joke. All their polls were all over the shop. And of course, where's Hunter? Where did he go? Where did Hunter go? The whole entire news cycle changed away from the Bidens, didn't it? Away from HRC jumpsuit, and another fake virus. General Phil, Thursday, May 7, 2020, completely and utterly exonerated. And QAnon post, Patriots, get ready. Patriots are being told to get ready. You're in the time frame now to be ready. Darkness. Communications and all the satellites, they're not going to be taken down, because without the internet, it's game over. So people came up with that themselves. It's called Darn. Yes. Darn had to do with Daniela, the one that did, right? So on timeline 2, internet off now, lights off now, complete shutdown now, tunnel rescues, yes. And Obama, maybe the creator will say, Mike Garcia, California 25 tons red for the Patriots. Good sign there for the map. The cry of Patrick Henry, give me liberty. That the communist and socialist take over America, it will not happen. On timeline 2, it will not happen. These enemies, yeah. Midnight Riot at Paul Revere should be chanted in all schools. All American children, all American patriots should know this. They should know of the Midnight Riot at Paul Revere on the 18th of September in 75. Hardly a man is now alive who remembers that famous day and year. It should be recited. Trump rallies, MAGA and CAG, of course. The rallies were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then what happened? The Chinese Communist Party planned to infiltrate and destroy America with bioweapon and real estate investments. They tried with the bioweapon. They're definitely doing stuff with the real estate stuff to get into power, to keep their little thing going. So keep an eye on that. Right. Patriots do not allow or accept mail-in mandatory voting in any US state. So the Patriots must prevent mail-in votes in any state. Doesn't matter whether it's Democrat, Republican, to make sure the timeline 2 comes into effect, and as a manifest is their last go-to. So there's many things they've tried that has been stopped. They tried to nuke, create a World War III beginning in Hawaii, and that was, and God chose to rise up. Very, very important. All these documents that were given, and America was raised and defend the great Lord and defend the great land at any cost. That's it. And of course, you have this Roe versus Wade is overturned. So that's a big thing that's going to play into timeline 2, keeping a very close eye on the whole Supreme Court. Without a doubt, let me see. 60 votes. That's the projected on timeline 2. 360, complete and utter tsunami wave. See how it all works out. Yeah. All patriots protect voter ID must be required to vote, and the election in 2020 is secured no matter what. This is very, very important. This is not of where the world will go. Will it pivot on November 3rd, 2020 and head down the path of federation, where America keeps building and is a light to the world, where the rest of the world realize they can have their sovereignty, they can have their history, they can love their nation, they can love their flag, they can love their culture, they can love everything about themselves as a people. Remember, the Creator did not want a one world government, a one world religion, a one world currency. That's why when they tried to build the Tower of Babel, they were scattered to the winds with all different languages, not one language. Very important. Timeline 3. the United States uprising and civil war, global trickle effect. What happens in America, timeline 3 is going to happen no matter what, but it depends on what the world is on when timeline 3 arrives. Will it be on timeline 1? On the timeline 1, it has extreme draconian effects on the people of the world, right? On the timeline 2, all people of the world feel anticipation of heavenly event. So these are critical moments coming. The Jovian transfer cosmic dream vision has connected to the global awakening on the Great Awakening, right? So this is all connected to Jupiter, King of Kings, the King planet, what's happening with Jupiter. All the different planets are at different degrees. It's a once in a lifetime kind of period that's happening. Period 1, period 2. The world has just gone through it. And the reason why that was crazy, at the start of it, it was all about the government, but on May 15, 2020, it switched to Mars. Mars is conflict, energy, war, and of course you had the Fly the Landlord event that happened on May 20. Period number 2, the world just entered it on July 1st, 2020 to November 20th, 2020. This is going to be an absolute huge period in time where the world must choose timeline 1 or timeline 2. The Patriots have got to do what needs to be done during this period. It is a once in a lifetime moment or period, if you will. Jupiter transit period number 3, November 21st, 2020 to April 21st, 2021. This is when the King of Kings will judge the world. What did they choose, timeline 1 or timeline 2? And it's either going to be chastisement or judgment, so see how it all works out. So a closer look, period number 1, March 30th, 2020 to June 30th, 2020, the Jovian transit. Period number 2, July 1st, 2020 to November 21st, 2020. Period number 3, November 22nd, 2020 to April 21st, 2020. Of course, period 3 is when the US election has taken place. Timeline is amazing. Timeline number 1, Biden, HRC, Sataro, Communist, Draconian 16-year plan. So their 16-year plans 4 years behind. Smart and clever now. Red wave, tsunami victory. Probably 360 votes, give or take. Timeline 3. On timeline 1, a bat upon freedom, liberty, and the great American way of life, in knowing of the coming heavenly event. And that ends our show for tonight. I really hope everybody enjoyed it. And that was the 3 timeline 2020 presidential election again. If you want to know more about what they're actually up to, what they're trying to do, these live streams are being done right now during the Jovian period number 2, so the world can